This is exactly what we need. A free dub when the opportunity presents itself. The Dallas Mavericks are without Kyrie Irving. They're without Anthony Davis. We don't know when he'll return. And without our two big stars, the Dallas Mavericks, as we've seen so far, struggle with finding ways to win. And we've already lost to the Washington Wizards once this season with Anthony Davis. So tonight's game, a lot of Mavericks fans were worried that we'd have a repeat of just losing to another bad team. But I guess fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, the Dallas Mavericks were able to get the win tonight against the Washington Wizards, 111 to 105, in a game that started off very strong, got sloppy, and then slowly but surely they fought their way back to a win, almost solely on the back of Naji Marshall, who had an amazing game tonight. So in this video, we're going to take a look at what happened in tonight's game, break down the box score, what was good, what was bad, and of course, who stood on business. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we're currently sitting at 22,585 subscribers. It's insane how fast we're growing. We're getting very close to our goal of 25K. So if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related, whether we win, we lose, Nico gets fired, Dwight Powell gets traded, if you want to hear it first, go ahead and subscribe. I'd appreciate it greatly. But the Dallas Mavericks have had a pretty rough start to the season, as they are now 3-7 through their first 10 games. And even though we did get the win tonight, some people would argue it is bittersweet that yes, we won finally, but it was against a very bad team like the Wizards, so what does that prove? Where other Mavericks fans are just happy that we got a win, happy that we didn't have to watch this team lose to another subpar team. And it's going to be kind of hard to call anybody subpar with how the Mavs have played so far this season, as we may be just at the very bottom. The 30th team out of 30 total teams, we are at the bottom. But even if we are at the very bottom, if we're number 30, beating number 29 is a feat in and of itself. So there is some reason to be happy about it. In tonight's game, we started off very strong. The offense was flowing. There was actually sets and rotations and plays. It looked like a team that knew what they were doing. We were ready to stomp the Wizards. There was a moment where the Wizards did get ahead of us, and then we came right back. We had a pretty decent lead. We go into the second quarter. The lead starts to disappear. The offense wasn't really there. The defense wasn't there. But we're still up at halftime. Then third quarter comes, and then we get outscored in the third quarter, so we're down, but we were never truly out. And in the fourth quarter, after a combination of bad turnovers, sloppy play, horrible defense, missed shots left and right, the Mavericks somehow, some way got the win, but I'm glad that they did. But if we take a look at the box score from tonight's game, going from the top to bottom, Daniel Gafford, who is dealing with some sort of ankle injury. He's on a minutes restriction, so he only played 19 minutes, but he had 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks. PJ Washington had 14 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, which is pretty big for PJ. He also had 1 steal and 1 block. Wasn't the best game from PJ. The offense looked a little crazy at times, but at the same time, those 10 rebounds, 5 assists, a block, and a steal, I'll take it from PJ. The defense, he did have some lapses there. Cooper Flagg, I guess we got to say it was a decent game. He had 12 points. He had 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. There was a few moments in the game where Cooper Flagg showed just flashes of what he could do, where he would get it to Daniel Gafford or Naji Marshall in transition, or he just full head of steam downhill, going from one end to the other end, scoring. We saw that happen in a very small window. We didn't see it after the timeout was called. We came back, but we are starting to see Cooper Flagg in moments of games show that he's getting more comfortable, that he does have some form of aggression to his game, and we want to see him be more aggressive. When we see Cooper Flagg do more with the ball, then we know that he's developing. If he plays too much off ball, he's not really getting too many reps. But all in all, I guess you could say a decent game from Cooper Flagg. Can't really say that much for D'Angelo Russell. I know I've been one of his biggest defenders on this channel. I've really hoped for D'Angelo Russell to be good, but I have to be honest with myself. He is just better off the bench. His second or third game starting, he had 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. He was 3 of 10 from the floor, 0 of 6 from 3, and 0 of 2 from the free throw line. Just another bad offensive night from D'Angelo Russell. And typically, you can rely on D'Angelo Russell to initiate the offense, get some assists at least. If he's not going to score, at least he can get guys set up. And that wasn't the case. Now, you could argue that some of these passes were good passes. They just couldn't convert. And I would say maybe. But he did only finish with 1 assist. A bad game from D'Lo. We got to call it like we see it. And then there's Max Christie, Mr. Reliable, Mr. Consistent. Just the guy who's really going to be something for this team down the road. Max Christie had 12 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. Didn't shoot the best. He was 4 of 14 from the floor, 1 of 5 from 3. We know that he can shoot better. guys have off nights, but all in all, I was very happy with what I saw from Max Christie, as well as just really good defense. I don't think we really talk about how great Max Christie's defense is for this team. I absolutely love it. And off the bench, Dwight Powell didn't really have much time, but he had two points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 2 steals. Naji Marshall, the man of the hour. 31 minutes off the bench, and he gave you 30 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, was 9 of 14 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3. I mean, Naji Marshall has had somewhat of a quiet start to the season, kind of similar to last season. The first few games wasn't really going for him, and I mean, he was new to the team, but things started to click for him as the season went on, and he was great for us. And maybe that's the case for this year. I thought that the reason Naji really has been playing well is because we haven't defined his role. Naji Marshall has been asked to bring the ball down, play the wing, play the post, bring the ball down and play the post. Like, there's a lot of hats that Naji Marshall wears from game to game, but when he has a more defined role, when he knows what he needs to do, he plays phenomenal. In tonight's game, he was trying to will this team to win. I even tweeted it out. If we win tonight, it's because of Naji Marshall, and I truly believe that. He was doing everything. You could just tell by watching. He did not want to lose, and he was willing to do whatever it took to win this game, and that's exactly what we got out of him. We don't win this game without Naji dropping 30 points, and I'm glad that he was there. But also, in 19 minutes, we had our two-way center, Moussa Cisse, play some quality minutes. And in those 19 minutes, he had 5 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, and 3 blocks. Not the craziest stat line, but to me, I'm very happy with what I'm seeing from Moussa Cisse. I really do think if he continues to just show that raw skill, that hustle, that hunger on the boards to get rebounds, the blocks, the man is a moose. He's just a moose out there. Big moose. The moose is loose. He's down there just dunking on Alexander Sarr. He's backing him down the post, and no one can stop him. The dude is strong, and he's very, very raw, but I think if we can just really focus on his development while he's here, he could easily be an amazing center for the Dallas Mavericks. I love what I see from him. I want to see more, and I really hope he develops very well. Shout out to Moussa Cisse, another bright spot in tonight's game. And you got Brandon Williams. He had 14 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists with 5 steals. Very good on the defensive end. He was 6 of 16 from the floor, 1 of 4 from 3. Not the best shooting night, but overall, I'm happy with what I saw from Brandon Williams. He may have to be our starting point guard, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Ryan Nembhard didn't get a lot of minutes. He had 2 assists. And then Jaden Hardy had 8 points and 1 rebound in his 14 minutes. And as always, only one player can stand on business. And I think it's fair to say that tonight's stand on business award goes to Naji Marshall. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Naji Marshall was everywhere doing everything. And like I said, we don't win this game without Naji Marshall. We won this game because Naji Marshall willed it to happen. He was not accepting any reality where this team lost to the Wizards twice within the same 30 days. But if we want to continue looking at what we got here, like I said, Naji Marshall tonight had 30 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 9 of 14 from the floor. 6th Man of the Year candidate, and I think so. I think he can definitely be that for us. If we see more consistent play, I don't think we're going to get 30 bombs every night from Naji Marshall, but just keep it consistent, and I do think that starts with giving him a more defined role. Asking him to do too much is going to yield various results. But a few other things that we got to take a look at. MFFL Nation said, does Coop have the worst whistle in the league? There was many times tonight where Cooper Flag just wasn't getting the whistle. He's getting a lot of contact. Even in the instant replays, he's getting a hit on the wrist and no whistle, to the point where someone else got the call, not Cooper. It's very, very odd. Obviously, he's a rookie. It happens to a lot of rookies, if not every rookie. We know when we saw with Luka Doncic, same deal. Even after his rookie year, he still wasn't getting respect from the refs, but that is to be expected. It is still very odd. And another thing, too, when we talk about who needs to be our starting point guard, Noah Weber tweeted out, and this was before the end of the game, but at one point, Brandon Williams was a plus 19, while D'Angelo was a minus 18. Literally night and day between D'Angelo Russell and Brandon Williams, and I will admit, I was a very staunch defender of D'Angelo Russell. I wanted him to be our starting point guard because we just needed a point guard. He was looking great off the bench, but maybe that's where he shines, is off the bench. Maybe we should give Brandon Williams a go at being the starting point guard. Maybe we'll get different results. Jason Kidd loves to experiment with lineups. We've seen it so far this year. I doubt he's done, especially if injuries are going to continue. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think that do you think that Naji Marshall, I'm all over the place. Do you think that Naji Marshall stood on business? Do you think that the Dallas Mavericks can turn things around as they're about to go on a pretty rough stretch of games? We do see the Bucks on Monday. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. We can have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you as far as the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. And as always, y'all take care. Drink water. Peace.